Hello people, this is the second match against Fisstech from the best of 3 we played in the HW League qualifier. And I had been going Dark Elves first for a while. And what I was expecting was for people to go Wood Elves, because allegedly they're a good counter to Dark Elves. I have seen many games where Wood Elves actually managed to beat the Dark Elves, so it is a matchup that I knew was probably coming my way. Now, I had kinda had to make up a build on the spot because I realized I hadn't had any saved. Because no one played this matchup against me so far, even though I had been going Dark Elves for a while. But Fisstech went for it. So my build was a bit of an imitation of how I play this as Empire. So I have the 4 cavalry in the back. There's 1 Black Arc Corsair, anti-infantry duty, 3 Reaper Bolt Throwers, the 1 Dark Rider for scouting mostly, and then a mixed line of Dread Spears and Bleak Swords. Potentially I should have picked 1 more Dread Spear now that I look at it instead of a Bleak Sword, because having these guys in the front kind of stops them from just cycle charging down your main line with Wild Riders and forcing you to bring in other units. So the first Arrow of Kurnus is already coming in, as you can see. It's usually like the first shot in a battle, but my luck when it comes to this is legendary. You should never try to take out my artillery with Arrows of Kurnus, because it doesn't work. Actually, I'm not sure how big the chances are of Reaper Bolt Throwers getting destroyed by it, but yeah. I didn't lose the Reaper Bolt Thrower. And there's actually 2 Waystalkers. This one is going to miss as well. Well, one of the arrows hit. Supreme Sources took a bit of damage there. She was positioned in the forest because I figured Arrows of Kurnus would come my way, either on my artillery or my caster. And yeah, I thought the trees might block something, and it seemed to work, although it mostly just missed, really. So when I saw this army, I thought, well, this is not really what I expected. Fewer cavalry than I expected. I mean, I wasn't totally sure what to expect, but what I always expect is either Dryads or Eternal Guard, Way Watchers, and then the cavalry and probably a dragon. Here we have the Ancient Tree Man with Awakening of the Wood, Earthblood. Glade Guard with Hagbane tips, that's an unexpected element for me. The Dryads and Eternal Guard with shields, not unexpected, but I was kind of thinking it would be either or, not both, and not this many. And then the Waystalkers, again, kind of expected, but I didn't expect 2 of them. Also, 1 Way Watcher is less than I thought there would be. Let's see how this army works out. So I suspect he thought I would take Malekith, and thought, like, the Waystalkers would be able to whittle down Malekith over the course of a battle. I do send out the Dark Riders. I figure I need to find these Way Watchers. The Way Watchers, they hit my Dark Riders a little bit in the back there. I should probably stop moving up at this point. The Bolt Throwers, I'm getting a little close for no reason. But yeah, 1 unit has to go scout out the Way Watchers, so I can shoot on them, and you can see the first volley there already kills 7 models and does quite a bit of HP damage as well. The Fisstech, proper reaction there, I would say, pulls back his Way Watchers. Because there's nothing really here for them to kill. The thing they want to kill is the Cold One Riders. And he's a smart player, he probably figures I have some cavalry hidden in the back here. So I switch targets. Looks like I'm targeting the Waystalkers. That may have been a little bit optimistic. My Supreme Sorceress, by the way, has Fireball, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Cascading Firecloak. And now this Ancient Tree Man gets into range, and I just start targeting him, because I noticed he didn't have regrowth, so I thought, well, it's not going to be super efficient. He tries to heal himself with Earthblood. He would rather heal other units that are bunched up, get the full healing, but he starts kind of dodging. So I switch targets to the Wild Riders, and man, these Reaper Bolt Throwers, they've been very effective this battle, just instantly killing models. I mean, at this range, against Wild Riders who are standing still, it's not the hardest thing ever to hit them, but yeah. So here, I charge in, and this is something we gotta pay close attention to, because I actually make a mistake here. The Cold One Knights, they charge in, because I thought my main line needed a bit of support against these Dryads. Not so much against the Eternal Guard, but they will definitely weigh down on the lines there as well. And I put down my Burning Head, and as you can see, it's not affecting this unit. Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, of course. It's not affecting this unit, so the placement on that wasn't very good. I'm pretty sure you can put it on a unit. I kind of just put it on the ground, but the effect didn't stay on this unit once it moved out of this effect range. So something to pay attention to when using this spell, because if you're using Flaming Sword of Ruin, let's think about the extra damage it does. So it's 30% base weapon damage. And then against Dryads specifically, if you look at them, they have fire weakness. So yeah, with the Kindle Flame it's even more, so that would be 77% more damage that they're taking. And you pierce their physical resistance, so they would be taking almost 100% extra damage from units like Bleak Swords. Cold One Knights mostly have armor piercing, so buffing their base weapon damage doesn't do too much, but yeah, for a bit the Dryads will take almost 100% more damage from that spell if you place it correctly, so it is just such a big amount, and yeah, real critical. It's really critical to pay attention to the placement of it. Wasn't ideal here. So on this side I did the same thing, charging in with the Cav. They don't have the most hit points, but as you can see, the charge on the Dryads actually did quite a bit. And I think it's going to help me in the long run, even though I lost some Cold One Knights for it. Probably took a little bit too much damage on the Cold One Knights if I'm being honest, but I do feel like that charge was necessary. Also his Wild Riders have taken a lot of damage. Keep focusing those guys down because I figure, how do I lose this battle? Well, probably if my Bolt Throwers get killed. And which unit can kill my Bolt Throwers? Well, the Wild Riders. So better take them down. On this side, Dark Riders are coming around to try and get into the Glade Guard. The Wild Riders are attacking them, I'm fine with that. I think they should be able to outrun them. Well, they're being slowed by something, but if you can distract a cheaper, more expensive unit with a cheaper unit, it's a good trade. My Lord gets a little bit close. She takes a lot of damage from those archers. Especially the Waystalkers can take her down pretty quickly. At the same time, the Black Orc Corsairs have jumped in. I think that's going to be another Flaming Sword. Yeah, and you can see the health just dropping really quickly on these Dryads, especially the ones that are fully engaged. Good reaction from Fisstech though, trying to disrupt those units with the Awakening of the Wood, but everything's shooting his Ancient Tree Man, and while he has healing, it's not super efficient healing. In the back here, my Dark Riders do get killed. Maybe should have been a little bit more careful with them, but it's acceptable losses. Infantry lines are holding decently. Point blank fireball on the Ancient Tree Man. Blade Guard are occupied. Let's see, where are the Way Watchers? They're launching another Arrow of Kurnus. Will it hit? Yeah, it actually hit, so once again, Lord Micro not on point there. I should keep this lady moving. Actually a little bit lucky that she's still alive and not routed. Now I do move her and she's just on a sliver of health. I mean, it always looks a little bit worse in-game. Meanwhile though, his Lord is actually routing. Now attacked by the Cold One Knights, which are also routing everything else. These troops not too happy to see their own Lord routing, as you would imagine. Yeah, he shatters, and at this point, you can see this whole right flank has been broken. And there's some cavalry here. Still units in the back, ready to jump in, and basically what I'm going to do now is bring this flank around, attack his backline, break the main line. And there's not that much left on his side, like the Waystalkers are out of ammo. Glade Guard won't be able to run and shoot. Waywatchers have used a lot of ammo, have taken some damage as well. Should still be able to kill some Cold One Knights, but yeah. targeting the Wild Riders because at this point, if he wants to win, it would have to be through some crazy kiting game. So I retarget onto them, and Fisstech at this point leaves. He could have played on for a little bit, but I think he saw, that the cards were stacked against him and how the battle was going to proceed, so I think pulling out was not premature there. All in all, I feel like he brought a different build than I expected, but I also brought a different build than he expected. His build seemed to be quite focused on the Lord sniping, which almost worked. And imagine he does kill the Supreme Sorceress, then there's no more fire damage against these trees and dryads. Most of all, the Reaper Bolt Throwers really paid off there, putting damage on the Way Watchers, forcing him in closer, putting damage on the Wild Riders, and the Ancient Tree Man, of course. And yeah, then finally I think the Cavalry Charge could have been executed a little bit better by me, but it did give my infantry the help they needed to win those engagements against the Dryads, which are typically a little bit stronger. And then of course the Flaming Sword of Ruin. I think it's the best spell in the game against Wood Elves, because so many of their units have physical resistance, like even the Wild Riders have physical resistance. And some of them are weak to fire as well. And they don't have a huge roster yet, so it's not like they can just skip on those units. I mean, I guess they can, but usually they will want to bring them, and it's easy to apply the Flaming Sword of Ruin wherever you want. So yeah, good games to Fisstech, fair play as well. There has been some to-do about his playstyle, but honestly, if you look at his recent games, if I look at my recent games against him, I think it's quite unjustified. I think he plays very well and in a very fair way. So yeah, good games to him. And not much else to say about that. I'll see you in the next video.